Over 2,000 years ago, ancient Chinese scholars observed the changing patterns in our natural world, the climate, the turning of the seasons, and astronomy. The scholars measured and divided the sun's annual movements into 24 equal parts, creating the 24 solar terms, which were used to govern agriculture in ancient China. Even to this day, this invention still guides the lives and traditions of hundreds of millions of Chinese people. Around June 6th every year, the Mangzhong solar term arrives. At this time, the already busy farming season reaches its peak. Paying thanks to the flower god and making wine with fresh plum berries, all show the Chinese people's closeness and respect for nature. The English word season comes from the Latin verb severe, meaning to sow. Whether east or west, ideas related to the seasons are closely tied to farming. But out of the 24 Chinese solar terms, only one makes direct mention of agriculture, and that's the 9th, Mangzhong, grain in ear. Known to farmers as the busy planting period, each year when Mangzhong falls, you can bet that it's going to rain. So farmers are racing to bring in the harvest before the rains come and plant seeds for the next season to safeguard future harvests.
一直在忙。
也是在忙。
The 24 solar terms were laid down by farmers 3,000 years ago to regulate how the land was to be worked. And today, 3,000 years later, they're still followed to the letter. Henan province on the plains of the Yellow River has 4 distinct seasons, plenty of sunshine and loads of rain. Henan is the most important wheat-producing province in China, and where I am now, Xiangcheng, is key to China's grain production might. When Mangzhong arrives, all this wheat needs to be harvested, and fast. Right now, this is quite possibly the busiest place in the whole country. To encourage villagers to produce more wheat, Jialing in Xiangcheng is getting ready for a big event. They call it the Wheat Championships. Based on each household's production of wheat per mu, or 6 acres, they crown a champion farmer wheat king every year. Ma Kefu has been the village leader here for more than 30 years. In years gone by, every single stalk of wheat was harvested manually. Old Ma was known as the best hand at the job. He was crowned the Wheat King.
这买的印都成熟了。
怎么知道呢？
不知道。走。揉了吹，这麦子，咱压一摇，胳膊上这很干，没有水分，这么东西成熟已经入场了。
挺硬的。
哎，挺硬的，对。俗话说，春正日，夏正时，过了芒种正回楼。就是春天错1天不要紧，夏天错1个小时，芒种都是这头到那头。
错1个小时都不行。
1个小时产量都不一样。
那怪不得那么忙。
时间很关键。
时间就是关键。
对对对。
In the early 19th century, a British agriculturalist wrote an investigative report in which he praised farmers of the East for their craft at using the land. An acre of land could feed 6 times the population of an acre of land in the UK. In ancient times, before technology was applied to farming, this success must have had a lot to do with Chinese farmers' acute sense of timing.
还挺累的。 以前你就是这样做的？
以前都是，从前没有机械，全靠人工割，在这转，现在是从机械化了，但是呢，这个地头、地边儿，这个有的小边荒地还得做人割。30年之前
，30年
都是割买，
都是割买的。那肯定很累，是吧？
割了到架上拉了再打了再起了再扬，现在全机械化，轻便多了。
As Old Ma said, scientific cultivation and better field management have increased the wheat yield considerably. Mechanized harvesting has meant that Mangzhong is way easier than it was, which has led to some very enterprising locals to seek new business opportunities.
平常偶尔也是在车里吃，是吧？
现在不在车上吃，你下来一耽误功夫，对吧？你一耽误好几亩地没了，你挣不了钱了。
就这个期间嘛，那你现在要开始忙？
对呀，我要开始忙了。
你2个人可以做？
啊
？2个人可以做吗？反正我跟你一起。
可以呀，不过你坐旁边可以啊。
我坐旁边。反正我不会开。好，谢谢啊。我知道你挺忙的。
哎，没事。
哎呀。怎么过
Zhai Laibing lives in another village more than 300 kilometers away from Xiangcheng. His own land was rented out to others long ago. 5 years ago, he invested in his own combine harvester.
就开始收了，那就是你干这个活，它就是满种期间。满种期间有多长呢？
满种期间收麦的话，得20多天。
20多天？
哎，对。
20多天，就是一直在开这个车。
对，一直开。
其他的时间就没法用。
一年这个车只能收这点麦子，但是它还做不了。
然后收这个麦子，就在这边呢，就是跟在这儿还是要跑很多地方呢。
一般就是从那个河南的这个南阳，一直搁到那个河北的定州。
哇，所以你要从南到北。
对呀。
要跑很远。
对。
然后经常换地方。
对。
在哪儿睡觉呢？
哎呀，睡觉啊，一般的躲到一个地方，有时候那个找一个熟人，给人家点钱。对，起码得人怎么着，他得休息点会儿。一般也挺累的，干这个一年就指望这20多天，买个车10多万。
然后你在这个满种的这么1个月，你能挣多少钱？
满种的期间就这那个20多天能挣4万多块钱吧。
4万块在1个月。
对。
Even for a white-collar worker in a city today, 40,000 RMB is not to be sniffed at. So it's not surprising that there are many, many more extraordinary drivers like Mr. Zhai. At Mangzhong time, a huge team of combine harvesters will plow through China's wheat plains, all the way from Nanyang in Henan, where the wheat matures first, pushing hundreds of kilometers north, past Shandong to Dingzhou in Hebei.
好，那这就是1人家的这个粮食是吧？
对。
那怎么倒出去呢？
你从这儿过来吧，从这儿过来。
从这儿绕过去。
对。
完了呢？
你来放羊吧，你就站这儿，我在下面，我教你。
行，怎么弄？
就这个啊。
这个。
就这个，对，往下，那个往下。
As we know, farming tools have changed a lot, and not that long ago in China, To harvest 1 acre of land would take 1 day, and to thresh it would take another week. Now with one of these new combine harvesters, this whole job can be done within half an hour. With the blessings of modern mechanized farming, Mr. Ma no longer needs to race through the wheat fields in 40 degrees heat to complete the challenge. Now, every year sees Mr. Ma supervise and adjudicate participants of the big event.
这是我们国家粮库的验水员，
你这是什么东西呢？
验量的仪器，采量中水分多大？
量水分的。
这水温有什么关系呢？
水分这个高于13.5以上不能入库，所以说如果没变13.5以下可以入库。
就是水太多就不能搁库里，
不能要。对对对。
还不够干。
哎对。
懂。
呀。
怎么弄这个机器呢？
啊，这是有这个开关，开关开机关机，量了有这个小麦。
行，好，测试一下。
12.1。
12.1。
12.1。
这算正常吗？可以吗？
可以。
可以。
Thanks to this year's weather, Xiangchang's harvest is excellent. Mr. Ma estimates the year's total output at about 500 million kilos of wheat, a quantity that can feed 1 billion people for a day, or up to 2.9 million for a whole year.
This is the most.
这个是最新品种。
啊。
今年主要天气比较好，收成都不赖。
The contest is coming to an end. All the villagers are waiting to find out this year's winner. In fact, we all know it's not that important anymore, because when you have new seeds, better farming techniques, and speedier harvesting methods, you will naturally get better results year on year. But of course, you also need to thank the inherited wisdom of 3,000 years of ancestral farmers and their 24 precious solar terms.
我们东南赛区梁王就要诞生了，一等奖是中国嘉陵马大庄行政村马尾，以亩产1430斤。获得本次梁王，祝贺！
好。
Around the world, wheat is one of our most produced staples. Universally loved, wheat is turned into flour, which makes, of course, our wonderful beer and bread in the West. And in China, it's turned into mantou, steamed buns and noodles, to be eaten as a staple food all year round. This is a Henan speciality. Making it is a skill that all housewives must have here. Your own wheat, ground by yourself, made into your own noodles, are the only ones that are qualified for serving at a table, for men who have been working long hours outside in the fields. Jingjie, used as a herbal medicine, has a fragrant and strong smell. It can only be eaten around the time of Mangzhong. It grows no matter the soil or climate, and is just as hardy as wheat. The locals add it to almost every meal, eaten fresh or in their noodle soup. There is a popular way of thinking in China that the food you eat shapes your personality. Over thousands of years, Chinese people have constantly observed and learned from nature. They've worked hard to cultivate the land, and it's this self-efficient lifestyle that has led to the Chinese people that we know today.
And as if by clockwork, it's raining.
Bang on time. The wheat has been harvested, straw is spread on the field, and the farmers get back to work planting corn. In China, at the right time is the most ingenious way for people to get along with nature. And it is also the reason why the Chinese still follow the 24 solar terms 3,000 years after they were laid down. With the blessings on traditional culture and following the development of the times, science and technology have become all important. Since opening up its economy 40 years ago, China has completely transformed. In Xiangcheng, far from China's big cities, you can feel that there's huge change in the air. Improved crop varieties and scientific planting methods have increased the amount of food on the table and cash in the farmers' hands. And with all the use of agricultural machinery, the time that they have now saved has led to them pursuing new opportunities. And all of this, a better standard of living. Walking in the newly planted fields, you can feel the difference. Everything here is constantly changing. Only the same time something has not changed, nature carries on regardless. For thousands of years, the Chinese have recorded how nature does its work with their 24 solar terms.
As we come to the end of this solar term here in China, it's been a very dramatic one. These fields that I am sat in were once blowing with wheat, are now already newly planted crops. By the next solar term, will be green and flourishing, and I shall be on my next journey in China.